Hello, Fort Bend home sellers. Lenore here. There's no denying mortgage rates are having a big impact on today's housing market, and that might leave you with some questions about whether it still makes sense to sell your house and make a move. Here are 3 of the top questions you might be asking and the data that helps answer them. Should I wait to sell? If you're thinking about waiting to sell until after mortgage rates come down, here's what you need to know. There are tons of other people thinking the same thing. While mortgage rates are still forecasted to come down later this year, if you wait for that to happen, you might be dealing with a lot more competition as other buyers and sellers jump back in too. Even a modest drop in the rates will bring both more buyers and more sellers into the market. That means if you wait it out, you'll have to deal with things like prices rising faster and more multiple offer scenarios when you turn around to buy your next home. Are buyers still out there? Buyers are still moving right now due to life events. Because when you gotta move, you gotta move. While some people are holding off, there's still plenty of buyers active today. Here's the data to prove it. The Showing Time Showing Index is a measure of how frequently buyers are touring homes. This graph shows that index to show buyer activity for March over the past 7 years. You can see demand has dipped some since the unicorn years, which is shown in pink. That's in response to a lot of market factors like higher mortgage rates, rising prices, and limited inventory. But to really understand today's demand, you have to compare where we are now with the last normal years in the market. That was 2018 and 2019, not the abnormal unicorn years during the pandemic. When you focus on just the blue bars, you can get an idea of how 2024 stacks up, and that gives you a whole new perspective. Nationally, demand is still high compared to the last normal years in the housing market, and that means there's still a market for your house to sell. Number 3, can I afford to buy my next home? If you're worried about how you'll afford your next move with today's rates and prices, consider this. You probably have more equity in your current home than you realize. Homeowners have gained record amounts of equity over the past few years, and that equity can make a big difference when you buy your next home. You might even have enough to be an all-cash buyer and avoid taking out a mortgage altogether. The Deputy Chief Economist at the National Association of Realtors says, those who have earned housing equity through home prices appreciation are current winners in today's housing market. 1/3 of recent home buyers did not finance their home purchase last month. That's the highest share in a decade. For these buyers, interest rates may be less influential in the purchase decisions. So if you've had these 3 questions on your mind, and you've been holding me back from selling, hopefully it helps to have this information now. A recent survey from Realtor.com shows that more than 85% of potential sellers have been considering selling for over a year. That means there are a number of sellers like you who are on the fence. That same survey also talked to sellers who recently decided to take the plunge and list. 79% of those recent sellers wish they had sold sooner. Here at Lenore Smith Realty Group, we'd love to hear from you. What are your concerns about selling? Would you like to know how much equity you have in your property? Or maybe you're just curious about the real estate activity in your neighborhood. If so, comment below, and we'd be happy to send the reports to you. Don't forget to subscribe to Lenore Smith Realty Group channel so you can be updated when we post more tips on selling and buying your home. We believe an educated seller makes confident decisions for the future of their family. So let's connect. We're here to help.